So I kind of accidentally built a mobile app. Well, honestly, it's not really about the app, it's the backend architecture I built for it. I built a fully functioning microservice system running on Docker. The app just happens to sit on top of it. So this video is something that I kind of overbuilt something very simple because I wanted to try building things the right way. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so this is what the system look like when you put it all together. You got a mobile app sitting in the front, and that's the front end. And what it does is it's connect to its backend through this Kong API gateway. So this API gateway handles rate limiting, SSL, and route traffics to correct microservice. So below this dotted line, we have our application server, and it contains 4 core microservices. And as you can see, they have their own databases and they communicate with each other with RabbitMQ and HTTP. So there are 4 core services here. We have our auth service, and it handles authentication and user management, and it has its own MongoDB database, and it is hosted on MongoDB Atlas as a managed service. And then we have our audit service, which handles the application logic for the system, and it also has a MongoDB database, and it has no idea about this auth service and what it does. So we have clear decoupling here. And we have couple more services, notification service and logger service. So this notification service pulls messages from RabbitMQ and sends out push notifications and emails. It also has a MongoDB database connected to it, and it's also hosted on MongoDB Atlas. And finally, we have our logger service, which logs everything. All the other services can send logs to it over gRPC, and it saves those logs in a MySQL database, and we can see these logs real time using Grafana. So nothing fancy here. So all these services run on Docker as separate containers, and we have RabbitMQ for internal communication. Alright, so on the left side we have Google authentication, and I added that because users don't have to create passwords for signing in. And we have Firebase connection as well for push notification, and finally we have PayHere as the payment gateway, so users can upgrade their user levels after the payment. Alright, so yeah, this is not just a CRUD application with a database. This is a proper distributed system with all isolated and containerized and message driven, and also protected behind an API gateway. Alright, so let me just show you the tech stack I'm using here really quick. I'm using Flutter for mobile app development, and I'm using Node.js with TypeScript for the backend development, and also I'm using MongoDB Atlas for managed databases, using RabbitMQ for message passing and queues, Firebase for push notification, and using Brevo for sending emails, and I'm using Google Auth as well. And for the API gateway, I'm using Kong. And finally, I'm using Docker to run everything. So this might not make sense yet. I'll walk you through them one by one. These are just a bunch of technologies and frameworks you probably know, and or maybe not. Let me just walk you through our mobile application first, and let's talk about the backend later. Alright, so this is our mobile app. It's a simple expense tracking app. You can add your incomes and expenses to this, and you can organize them by monthly and categories, and finally you can view all the analytics and stuff. So we have added a few basic features here. We can have added Google sign in. You can sign in like this, and then we have our months, and inside a month you can add your expenses and incomes. So we have added some basic functionalities for a mobile app, like Google authentication, push notifications, and biometric authentication, and also we have added a payment gateway. so you can subscribe to one of these plans. It will open up the payment gateway. Alright, so the interesting part of this is that I had zero Flutter experience before developing this. I mean, I had never developed anything with Flutter, so this was kind of challenging. So what I did was I used AI to write the whole thing. So most of these screens, for example, this list and these charts and everything, these are almost 100% written by ChatGPT, and the API calls and Flutter models and most of these UI designs are completely written by ChatGPT. Well, I know it's not the best tool for this, but I wanted to try. I mean, it was good enough. So that's pretty much it for the mobile app. Let's take a look at the backend. So what we have done here. Alright, so these are our core services. I have opened up everything in a single project, and here we have our audit service, auth service, logger service, and notification service. So like I said, everything is Dockerized. We have a global Docker Compose file. This will spin up all the services with just one command. Right, let me just walk you through really quick. We have RabbitMQ, and we have MongoDB, which is a MySQL DB, and we have PHP MyAdmin as well, just in case Grafana doesn't work. And we have then Grafana, and we have our logger service, auth service, notification service, and audit service. And we have a couple of volumes as well. And we have few other configuration files for this is for Grafana dashboard, and this is for initializing our MySQL database for logger service. I'm not going to explain everything in detail. Maybe I'll create a new video for explaining everything in the project. Yep. So here we have our authentication service. It's a basic Express application written with TypeScript. Let me just walk you through the project structure. We have configurations, we have then controllers, and we have few cron jobs sending notifications, and we have defining our types and interfaces, and we have middleware to verify the tokens and everything, and then we have models. Currently this has just 3 models: users and meta and payment packages. And then we have our routes, and we have some helper functions in our utils folder. So these are just basic stuff. If you've been following my channel from the beginning, I mean, we have done so many applications like this. Alright, so that's pretty much it for our auth service. What this does is it handles authentication and user management. That's it. Since all these services are using MongoDB except the logger service, it's using MySQL. All the other services are using MongoDB. So I'm using Mongoose as the ORM. Alright, that's pretty much it for auth service. And then we have our audit service. It's also a basic Express application that follows the same project structure. And for the notification service, we also follow the same project structure. So like I said, what it does is it pulls out messages from RabbitMQ and send out as push notifications and emails. Alright, and finally we have our logger service. It kind of has a different project structure because it's using type ORM as the ORM, because it's using a MySQL database, and it doesn't have much controllers and everything, because what it does is it's write logs. So all the logs are sent using gRPC by other services. Yeah, let's say it logs everything. I mean, for example, let's say something fails in a function. Let's say we have a try catch block here in sign up function. So if it fails, if it goes to this catch block, what we have done here is we have added this function write log what's the log type and the message and the payload. So we have a little function here just like this. So we can log absolutely anything that happens in our application. So as you might have already noticed, these services are reusable. For example, I can create another service here and wire it up to a notification service, and I can send a notification from there. So that's the beauty of it. Alright, so I want to talk about a couple of more things as well. Regarding this Kong API gateway. So if you don't know what Kong is a lightweight cloud native API gateway. Here Kong runs on its own droplet as a Docker container, and it's the only thing that is exposed to public internet. So all the traffic comes from the user, goes through this API gateway. So it checks rate limits, adds authentication headers, and route traffic to the correct microservice. So these microservices are on another droplet behind a private network. So they are not exposed publicly. So this keeps everything secured. And regarding our logger service, like I said, all the services send logs to this logger service using gRPC, and it saves them in a MySQL database. And we use Grafana to see the logs. So if you don't know what Grafana is an open source data visualization and monitoring platform. With that, you can view your logs and generate many visualization tools. So here I have just added a simple table that displays all the logs real time. So if something goes wrong, I can see it here. And regarding Google sign-in, I just added it because users don't have to create password when they are signing in. So on the back end, I verify Google token and get user information and stuff, and create a new user or fetch an existing user using their email. And then I generate my own JWT token and send to the front end. So that's what happens there. And for the payment gateway, so I have added PayHere as the payment gateway, so that my users in the application can upgrade their user levels to premium or something. After the payment, PayHere calls my webhook, so I can update my users level into something like premium after this webhook call. So it's a server to server communication. Maybe I'll do a detailed video about that later. And then I refresh the token in the front end, so the mobile app knows it's a premium user. Alright, so here let's see how we have deployed this. I'm gonna in the server I'm gonna run docker ps. So we have these services, auth service, notification service, audit service, and we have logger service as the 4 core services, and also we have Grafana, phpMyAdmin, MySQL, and RabbitMQ as other services. So these are the microservice containers we have in our application droplet. And we have another droplet which is the API gateway. I'm gonna run docker ps, and here actually I have 2 docker containers, but only consider this one, which is the API gateway for our application services. So this app is a very straightforward app with a simple CRUD functionality. So what I really wanted to build is the system behind it. I wanted to build API gateways, I wanted to build message passing, I wanted to build centralized logs, queues, kind of things that real systems use. So now it works. It's fast, it's clean, and I learned a lot building it. So if you are thinking trying microservices, start with something simple, but do it the right way. And don't be afraid to use tools like Kong, Docker, RabbitMQ, even if it's a side project. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this video. I know it's been a while since my last video. Hopefully I can continue posting more videos in the coming weeks. Alright, so hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.